What is up, guys? As you saw in Friday's video, we're finally going to be replacing the iMac setup on this desk sitting right here behind me. So I've just realized I've never really gave a full tour of this setup, but this is what I've been using ever since 2019. You know, I've had the iMac since late 2016. I bought it back in November of that year. And then not long after I graduated high school, I bought two of these 27-inch Samsung Quad HD displays. And this is what I've been rocking ever since 2019. You know, we've got the 3 displays, we got the TV above it, we got the Klipsch surround sound speakers, and over here we have the MacBook Pro setup. This is a 2019 Touch Bar deal. And then, of course, the receiver for those speakers. There you go, guys. This is the last time you're ever gonna see this iMac setup on this desk. So it's time to shut this iMac down for the final time ever on this desk. So we're gonna go up to our little Apple menu up here, click shut down, and it's gonna bring up our little prompt right here. And we're gonna hit shut down. And there it is. That's the final time I'm ever gonna shut this iMac down on this desk, which is kind of crazy to me because I've been using this machine for so long, but it's time for it to be replaced. So with the final shutdown of this iMac done, it's time to start tearing everything on this desk down.
Emerged from the sea of cables. Most overrated mic of all time.
It's the best mic of all time.
Sam, put this in the video.
This is Foxton. He's been making all the music for this channel for the last like year and a half.
And I also film my own mountain biking. I'm addicted to mountain biking. I have my own channel, and I definitely do not use this mic. This is the most overrated mic in the world. I'm not even going to say the name because you know what it is. Okay? I don't use it. It's not good. I've heard it. It doesn't sound good. Trust me. Current state of our predicament here. You can tell all the effort that's put in here on the...
This is the best cable management anyone's ever seen, bro.
If you don't have this many cables, then you just don't have a good setup.
Look at all that storage too. There's like 40 terabytes sitting there.
It's all doing something, folks. All right? Yep. Just watch and learn.
Sitting here at 4:37 in the morning, I have the desk pretty much all the way cleared off. I also decided to stick one of the new 32-inch displays on here just to see how much room it's going to take up, and as you can see, it's quite a bit. I'm still not entirely sure that 32-inch displays were the best idea for this setup, but here we are anyway. So I wiped down the desk, I vacuumed all the dust off of it, got it all nice and clean. This is still hot glued to the desk for now because I don't think I'm going to have to be moving it. And I also haven't messed with the storage at all. We have quite a few of my books down there. There's the Xfinity modem and a couple more of my books up there. And behind these two are actually 3 my passport drives. There's going to be a video at some point, sometime soon. I'm not entirely sure when, but my entire storage situation here is going to get revamped because having this many external drives is kind of annoying, and it's also unreliable. What I'm going to go ahead and do is get the wires for this monitor ran and plugged in and get the other 2 monitors on here, and then we'll be pretty much ready to go. And there's the new MacBook sitting right there on top of an old 2011 17-inch MacBook Pro. Check it out, guys. All 3 of the 32-inch displays just barely fit onto this desk. This is absolutely insane. Just sitting in front of this desk is crazy. Just being completely surrounded with 4K displays. It's absolutely awesome. Now I decided to just have the MacBook sitting right here on the desk. I had originally thought I was going to have a side stand for it behind one of the displays, but as I mentioned in Saturday's video during the unboxing, I can actually use this display that's built into the MacBook to properly color grade HDR content. So when I need to do that, all I need to do is lift the lid, and now I've got an HDR display that I can color grade HDR content on, which is awesome. You're also going to notice that there's more than one cable plugged into this. So right here we have a Thunderbolt 4 cable and a HDMI cable, and over on the other side we have a Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 adapter. Now let me explain what the situation is with this. The Thunderbolt 4 cable on the right here is for the CalDigit or CalDigit, however you pronounce that name, Thunderbolt 4 dock, and that dock runs the middle screen, the right screen, and a few of the hard drives back here. We'll get into more depth back there in just a second. The other dock I have sitting on my desk right here is an old OWC Thunderbolt 2 dock, and the reason I decided to hook this thing up is because I needed more USB Type-A ports. It turns out you can actually only split Thunderbolt 4 into so many different lanes for USB. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it better than that. Essentially what happened was some of my hard drives wouldn't mount through this dock because I was asking too much of it with all the USB devices I had plugged into it. So I went and bought this Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 adapter for another $50 friggin'. Thank you, Apple. But now I can use the old Thunderbolt 2 dock I've been using with the iMac, which, as I said earlier, gives me more USB ports, which is always a good thing. And also directly to the right of that, we have the Apple TV 4K. I do actually use this thing pretty frequently. It used to sit right under the iMac, but because of how these Dell stands are put together, I couldn't do that, so I just moved it right to the left between the secondary Thunderbolt dock and the center display. The HDMI cable actually goes over to the Denon receiver I have. And the reason for that is because back when I had the iMac here, I had an optical connection for audio going from the iMac into the back of the receiver. This no longer has the headphone jack that has the optical output. So I just ended up plugging an HDMI cable into the built-in output on this MacBook, ran it over to the receiver, and now I can actually get a Dolby Atmos output out of my main computer, which is something I could never do with the iMac because the optical output on that thing only could output up to 2 channels, which was kind of a shame, but now I can get a Dolby Atmos output right out of my computer. And of course, yes, it does also output a full 4K 60Hz signal to this TV up here. So if my 4 displays down here aren't enough, now I can have a 5th. And while we're over by the receiver, we might as well go over this pile of PlayStation controllers and this PlayStation sitting under them. So I've got controllers for every PlayStation except the PS2. I'm not entirely sure where my DualShock 2 controllers went. They're around here somewhere, but right now I've got one for the PS1, looks like 3 DualShock 4s, a few for the PS3, not all of them are DualShock 3 though, and then of course the one for the PS5, and I've also got a PS1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and yes, all 5 of them are hooked up to the receiver and are playable. You're also going to notice that there's no longer a webcam on top of any of these monitors until you see this iPhone 13 Pro Max sitting right here. So this is for continuity camera, which is another thing that I was unable to do with the iMac because I think it was like 1 year too old to support it, or 1 generation too old to support it. But now instead of having a Logitech C920 or whatever other webcam, I can just use an iPhone and get a far better looking image output than any webcam on the market can provide. And even doing it wirelessly, it seems to hold a very stable connection and have pretty much no latency, which is very, very impressive to me. And sitting over here on top of the receiver is the other new MacBook I bought. This is a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro, and this is the last of the ones that had the touch bar. Now, I know I'm in the minority here, but I really like the touch bar, and I was sad to see them taking it out of the new MacBook Pros. So why did I buy this? Why did I buy this MacBook as well? So this thing is actually pretty powerful. It's got a Core i9, 32 gigs of RAM, and the upgraded 8GB AMD graphics card. And the reason I bought it is because I'm not carrying a $7,000 laptop with me to work every single day. Now, some of you guys might remember back at the beginning of 2021, I bought this MacBook Pro. This is I believe it's a mid-2014 15-inch with Retina display that I also just totally sticker bombed. And the reason I wanted to replace this as the machine I carry with me to work every day is because it doesn't have a graphics card. There's also a couple other issues with it. As you can see, the gasket around the screen is falling apart, the trackpad doesn't really click anymore, and the hinge got really tight, which isn't really a super big issue, but it was annoying because the screen won't actually stay closed all the way. I don't know why, because I actually never dropped this one. But as you can see now, I have it sitting over here hooked up to the network, acting as a video archival server. And for that, it works very well. Now let's go ahead and take a look behind the monitors here. This is something I hope to improve later this year. As you can see, I didn't do too much with the cable management. I've still got the 2 USB hubs glued to the wall, and I've still got a million hard drives back here, along with the Xfinity modem and 2 8-port Netgear switches, which are now full. I do have a third one that I bought maybe 3 months ago, but I never ended up installing it. it. I'll get to it eventually, I'm sure, though. But as I said in the unboxing video of this MacBook, this thing has an 8TB internal SSD, and the reason for buying a MacBook with that much internal storage is because I'm switching up how I store my video projects. Pretty much what I'm gonna do is keep 1 year worth of raw videos and Final Cut projects on the internal storage of this MacBook, and at the end of the year, dump them onto an external hard drive. And the reason I'm gonna be doing that is because I know for a fact that the other bottleneck I had with the iMac was the fact that these hard drives just aren't that fast. Hopefully by the end of the year, all of these hard drives are gonna be off the desk, and I will build a 100TB NAS to dump all of the data on these drives onto, because right now, none of this is backed up, so if any of these drives die, that's the end of the data on it because none of it is backed up. Never do that. It's a very bad idea. And some of these drives are 10 years old at this point, so the fact that all of them still work is actually pretty impressive to me. There's a quick rundown of the new desk setup for you guys, and as you can probably tell, it's pretty killer. I've never had a setup that's this nice before. I've been running 3 screens, I believe, ever since 2017. I got the matching screens for the iMac back in 2019, and now I have the biggest screens I have ever had for a computer, 3 32-inch 4K displays, and it's awesome. So I'm sure a few of you guys are wondering how much this entire setup cost me, and I'm gonna break it down for you really quick before I end this video. For the MacBook, after the state delivery fee and tax, was $6,567.46. For all 3 of the screens combined, the total was $1,064.22. The MacBook Pro was an eBay purchase that I got for $850, but after tax and shipping, the total for that was $930.16. And finally, the CallDigit TS4 Thunderbolt dock was $430.26, which brings us to a total just shy of $9,000. The other Thunderbolt dock that's sitting on my desk was actually given to me by my boss maybe a year and a half ago, and I was using it with the iMac, and that's what's plugged into that Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 adapter because the other dock is a Thunderbolt 2 dock. Now, was it worth it? So far, yes, absolutely it was. Guys, as of recording this outro right now, I have edited a total of 2.5 videos on this MacBook. That's half of the video you're watching right now, the unboxing video, and a client video. The way Final Cut just didn't drop any frames, didn't do the little pinwheel thing at all, even once with better quality playback selected, blew my mind. And the craziest part to me was the fact that that MacBook didn't even get warm while it was doing it. I was even screen recording at 4K at 60 frames a second, playing back a YouTube video at 4K at 60 frames a second, and playing Minecraft with shaders with the settings turned all the way up while these videos were exporting, and the screen recording stayed smooth, the YouTube playback never dropped any frames, Minecraft held a constant 60 frames a second at 4K, and the laptop still barely even got warm. Apple Silicon is incredibly impressive. There you go, guys. That is going to be it for the new desk setup for now. Eventually, I will be doing a full tour of this desk setup. I know I never did one for the iMac after I got the new displays, but trust me, with this setup, it'll happen because there's a lot to go over that I didn't get to in this video, along with what else I have going on in this room. There's a lot of new stuff that you guys haven't seen yet, so at some point this summer, I will be doing a full tour of everything that I have in this room set up for video production. Before I end this video, I want to give a big shout out to my friend Craig for letting me borrow his Canon EOS R for the unboxing video. Big shout out to my friend Foxton for helping me shoot the unboxing video, letting me use his A7 III, and also providing all of the music for this channel for almost the last 2 years now. And of course, as usual, DSRX100 for designing and animating the DaSamNudge logos. Until the next one, that is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thank you for watching.